Greetings everybody, I'm Michael. Welcome back to my studio and another video for How I Podcast. As I always say, I'm not going to tell you how to podcast or broadcast. There's as many different ways of doing it as there are people, and I'm sure the way that you're doing it is just fine. So I know that we like to take a look at how other folks are doing it. That's the purpose of this video series. And also you'll notice that I'm not in my studio. I'm outside my house, and my studio is right up there behind me. And I haven't taken you on a tour of my studio in a couple of years, and things have changed, so I thought we'd go ahead and take a look at some of that as I start putting all of this stuff together, all the different videos that I've done so far. Watch out, Pippi. Let's head on in and go upstairs. Pippin's my dog. Upstairs is 2 bedrooms, and 2 of my children live up here. And there's also a very strange room. Don't know exactly what it's for. Let me close the door here. But I do now. It's for my studio. Let's take a quick gander at my setup here, and then we'll jump right into it. And by the way, this video, I'm using this rinky-dink little lapel mic. It doesn't sound very good at all, so I apologize for the sound quality in advance. This little cubby hole is about 12 feet deep, and I can't remember how wide it was, 7.5 feet wide or so. But it fits my desk and 2 other desks for co-hosts to come in. Their microphones set up with the ATR 2100 on their scissor boom stands. Get a back view of what they see when they're sitting and talking with me there. My soundboard and second computer monitor, and then my computer. Come on over here. Here's a look at my workspace. Computer, well, 2 computers, an external monitor, microphone, iPad for sound cart, of course my soundboard, and studio monitors, and I have all kinds of fun things jam-packed in here to look at while I'm talking and broadcasting and keep me entertained and interested. Sound dampening panels on each side of the room. Oh, there's my old mixing board. I keep that around for emergencies, records, all that good stuff. Now, I know that this is not a good camera angle to have because the lights, all my studio lights are behind me. Normally I'm faced the exact opposite way with all the lighting and all that good stuff, but I just wanted to give you kind of an over-the-shoulder view of my my setup, my command center here, and how I work. I get a lot of questions from folks. Okay, you've talked about using the board and using the digital audio recorder and microphone technique and all of those things. How do you actually put all this stuff together? What buttons do you push, and what are you doing? You have to remember, as I say often, that I record live to tape, and so I'm not recording just little bits of audio and then putting them into my DAW and editing and putting in sound bites and sound clips and all of those things. I'll capture all of those things live, and so my workflow is going to be different than probably the majority of podcasters out there. I know that some people do record live to tape. There's a whole lot of reasons why I do that. Number one is just the excitement, because you really are flying without a net. If you make a mistake, if you lose your train of thought, you have to perform in order to get over those potholes, those little glitches in the system, so to speak. And that's fun to me. It's a whole lot more exciting than recording audio and then sitting down and doing a whole bunch of editing in post-production. My post-production is very simple, and I'll show you that at another time as well. But so to answer a couple of questions here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a video clip of me doing my radio show. I do a couple of different radio shows for our local station, and one of them I do in this studio. Well, I recorded a little bit of that in order to show you what I'm actually doing.
How about a little rock and roll?
Wake up! Wake up, sleepies!
Wake up! Wake up, little Susie! Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon!
Come on, dear, it's time to get up.
Well, good morning!
Good morning!
Wonderful morning to you.
Good morning, Coffee County. We're starting off today on the Hootenanny here with Gene Vincent and his Blue Caps. My screen, first of all, I'm a Mac. And so everything that I do when I receive questions from folks, well, how do I do this? And, well, I only can speak from the perspective of a Mac user. It's been, gosh, how many years since I used a Windows machine? Since 2009, so 10 years. But I am using 3 different screens on my computer as I'm doing a show, and I'm flipping back and forth in order to get to these things. Then my external monitor over here, I have a spreadsheet open with any show notes that I need to remember, and I have a timer up there so that I can time the show. My radio show has to be a specific time for commercial breaks and all of those types of things. And I have my iPad with one of my sound carts, and my second sound cart is on my Mac. And I use them in conjunction so that I can be triggering sounds at the right time and get basically replicating full editing. So if I was going to go in and record my little bits and then go in after the fact and edit and then put in sound bites and all of those things, I replicate that live, hitting those triggers on time. And getting the timing right, that's exciting. That's part of the excitement. Now, you'll see my digital audio recorder right here. And I still get this question over and over and over again. Why do you use an external digital audio recorder instead of just recording on the computer? The number one reason why I do that is because with all of these windows that I have going on, I'll have a Kindle book open. I'll have my notes in Google Drive. I'll have my soundboard open. I'll have my DJ program open to be playing music. All of these things, I can't keep an eye on my computer for watching recording levels, but I can at a quick glance right here on my digital audio recorder. That's the number one reason why I use outboard gear to record the audio. Pretty simple, really. I hope that finally answers the question. If you want to record on your computer, go ahead and record on your computer. I'm not telling you you need to have an external digital audio recorder. I do, because of my workflow. It's very, very busy. Well, gosh, let me get out of frame here. I have a little Chromebook right here, and I use that for when we are broadcasting on Twitch, or if we're broadcasting live to YouTube or Facebook or what have you. I can monitor that on a separate computer that's using up its own resources. My Mac is pretty powerful, has a lot of resources, but I don't want to ask it to do too much at one time, or else you run the risk of something glitching. That's really what it comes down to. When I put all of this stuff together, everything that's going on my computer or on my iPad here, and it's all coming through my soundboard and then recorded onto the Tascam, I have my completed file. I just import it into my external hard drive and then plop it into my DAW for post, right? For processing, which really, I've set up templates that I have the EQing and the compression that I like for the sound of my shows. I have a level meter to check the LUFS, and that's pretty much it. Then I export it, and it's ready to go. So what I'm thinking is the next time we'll go ahead and start talking about these sound cart programs that I use and how I use those. That might be a good next step. And then eventually we will get to the DAW part. I did a video, just a quick little introduction on using Audacity, the free open source software, in order to do quick edits. I don't think anybody was really interested in that. If that is not the case, if you folks are out there and you are wanting to use Audacity, or you already do use Audacity, but you want to learn a little bit more about it and about engineering and editing audio, you'll have to let me know if that's something of interest to you. I use a professional DAW called Reaper, and you can get it's dirt cheap, $60 for this super duper powerful DAW, one that you can do a side-by-side shootout with Pro Tools, like the most expensive DAW, right? And they put out or output the same exact file. There is no difference, not any difference that you're going to tell or that your listeners are going to tell or be able to perceive. And so I can show you how I use Reaper. I can show you how I use GarageBand, but actually I don't use GarageBand because after the last major iteration of it, they took away all of the functionalities that I used when I used to process podcasts in that program. But you need to let me know what you want. That's about it. This was just a quick little video. I hope that you enjoyed it, taking a look into a little bit of my workflow here. So until next time, go out there and produce something.
Good morning, Coffee County. Come on in. I'm Professor Michael T. You are listening to The Hootenanny here on WMSR Thunder Radio. This show is your free weekly master's course in musicology where I'm going to get your heart a-thumping and your blood a-pumping. I'm with you each Saturday and Sunday at 6 a.m. only on WMSR Thunder Radio, your hometown station. And this week we've got a whole slew of rockabilly for you. I'm going to try and sneak in 18 tracks in this next hour for you. A little new and a whole lot of old stuff. And speaking of new, we've got brand new from one of my very favorite groups of all time, the one that really started it all for me, and that's the Stray Cats. They just released a brand new track off their forthcoming album called 40. And it's called 40 because this is the 40th anniversary of the Stray Cats. So again, you've never heard this one before. Are you ready? You get ready here.
How about the music?
Got a brand new tune just out.
You say it's brand new? Yeah. Nobody's ever heard it?
No. I'm dying to hear it.
For the first time anywhere.
Here's the tune.